then we can sit on the chair. I mean, on the stairs.
Why don't you sit just right now? I'm just going to ask you to read through the first one.
Like, which one?
Good morning. My name is Christine Organ, and it is a pleasure to be with you this morning. Today's service is a bit different than usual. It is one of our spiritual journey services when you will hear the stories of members of our congregation. We are so glad you're here. Today's opening words come from Linda Hart. Every day is a new start, every year a beginning, or so we'd like to believe. And we don't know, can't anticipate where we will go, what will happen, what delights await, what heartbreaks will tear us open, the paths unexpected that open before us. Even knowing that, we lean our lives in particular ways, focus on particular moments, incline our attention to what is in our hearts and lives and hands to offer. We know for sure that ours is in the going, finding what is on the path and off, in giving and creating what we can. We come here amidst the discoveries and delights, the worries and woes, to find a moment of connection, to pause on the journey in gratitude and sorrow. It is good to be together. We light this flame to remind us love is the center. As we grow and connect, mature and deepen, love remains the center. When the light of truth burns all else away, love remains. Please stand and join in reading our covenant. We unite to strengthen the bonds of kinship among all persons, to promote human dignity, and to increase reverence for life's creating, sustaining, and transforming power through worship, study, and service. And now, remaining standing, please join in our opening hymn, Becoming. The words are in your order of service. There's a bomb cyclone coming. I don't know if you've all heard about that, which means everybody gets one more day of what? Play in the snow. That is awesome. If you're young or young at heart and want to come forward, come on forward. Caroline, yeah, hi. So today we have a really special story. And part of the reason that it's special is we have two people who are younger than me, which is probably half of these people, but it's a very special group of people who are going to come and tell the story today. And the story is called the United something. The United Forest. Look, people who can read, thank you. The United Forest. So I'm wondering, what do you think are in forests? What kind of things do we find in forests? Yeah, Caroline. A light shift? Yeah, something like that? A night shirt. Oh. Nature. Okay. Nature. So sorry. Nature. Awesome. What else is found in forests?
Yeah. What's found in forests, Reese? Flowers are found in forests? Plants are found in forests. What do we ask for every week that found in forests? George. Huh? Nightshirts. Come on. You guys are going to make me pull this out of you, aren't you? This is very interesting. What's found in forests and all around us that are gray or red? Yes. Books. Books are found in forests too. That is so awesome and true. Anybody? No, you can't say because squirrels? Could it be squirrels? Thank you very much. Who would like to open the Wonder Box? Holy cow, you're a hard crowd today. What is that? Not just one squirrel, but it's 4 different squirrels. There's so many squirrels. Why? Because squirrels are all over the forest. Holy cow. Thank you. So today, they're in a lot of places in the forest. So today, we have a story that 2 of our young people, Lexi and Emmy, are going to read to us, called The United Forest of Good. And come on. Emmy comes to us having just won a part in The Lion King, but having done many different kinds of thing, and Benji is in The Lion King as well. And Lexi comes to us having just finished a very successful run in, show them your t-shirt, Chicago, yes. So we have experts here on the stage in theater to read us this story. Thank you.
United Forest of Kind by Anne Dwyer-Wrigley, illustrated by Junica.
It was early November in the United Forest of Kind. Squirrel, a wise and kind creature of the forest, sat quietly on a branch of the old oak tree where she had built her nest and prepared for winter. She looked out over the forest. Squirrel sensed that something was terribly wrong.
The fall had been unusually warm. The leaves still clung to the oak tree that Squirrel shared with many other creatures of the forest. Squirrel's friends were not preparing for the winter. Instead of hiding acorns, gray squirrels spent the day chasing red squirrels as they tried to gather pine cones in the neighborhood. Squirrel was puzzled. Why would gray squirrels chase after pine cones when they would rather eat acorns? After all, plenty of acorns still clung to the branches of the old oak tree.
Squirrel thought about how the forest had changed. In the past, all the animals would work side by side to prepare for the winter. Now they were working against each other.
Robins, who passed through the United Forest of Kind on their journey to warmer forests, had decided to stay for the warm fall. Squirrel was very upset when she noticed that the other winter birds would not share their trees or food with the robins. She wondered if the forest was no longer a kind place to live.
The next day, Squirrel noticed that Fox now ran long distances through neighborhoods where people and other animals lived instead of crossing through the forest.
Squirrel scurried down from the branch and leaped across the fence line to speak to Fox. Fox explained that Coyote had made it impossible for her to come back into the forest. She feared that he would not let her cross safely back into the neighborhood to reach her den.
Squirrel wondered how all these things could be happening in the forest she loved. The United Forest of Kind had become anything but kind. In early December, the snow was blowing and the wind chill was very cold. Squirrel worried about her friends who were not prepared for the harsh weather.
By March, things were not any kinder. The spotted salamander who lived under a decaying log in the forest told Squirrel her worries about the journey across the fence to the neighborhood pond to lay her eggs. Salamander feared that once her eggs hatched and her young made their miraculous change to salamanders, They would not be able to survive the journey back into the forest because of the dangers of crossing the fence line. In the past, animals from the forest had always helped protect them. Now, everyone feared the fence line.
The dead trees that were home to insects, nesting holes for chickadees, and places for squirrels to store pine cones and nuts were once great food source for raccoons, opossums, and skunks to share.
Now Squirrel watched as Skunk stood below the hollow tree and declared it was his tree. He lifted his tail to spray the raccoons and opossums every time they came to eat.
By spring, Squirrel was heartbroken. Wise, kind, gentle Squirrel found herself shouting as loud as she could, "This is intolerable." Squirrel knew the animals of the forest were better than this. They had always welcomed all creatures and been the united force of kind. Squirrel cried herself to sleep.
When she woke up, Squirrel began to problem solve. She realized that shouting out to the forest did little good and decided to lead the forest by example instead. On day 1, she gathered pine cones and acorns and invited the red and gray squirrels to the old oak tree to share dinner.
On day 2, she collected food for the robins and winter birds to share.
On day 3, she took Fox to speak to Coyote, explaining that there was plenty of food in the forest to be shared. On day 4, she convinced her forest friends to stay up late to ensure safe passage for the young salamanders across the fence line. On day 5, she helped Skunk share the food from the hollow trees with Opossum and Raccoon.
Each day, as Squirrel did her acts of kindness, she sang a song.
This little life of mine, I'm gonna live it kind. This little life of mine, I'm gonna live it kind. This little life of mine, I'm gonna live it kind. Live it kind, live it kind, live it kind.
Animals who experienced Squirrel's kindness began doing kind acts too. They spoke up when they saw something that was not right. Soon, the united forest of kind was returning to the values that made it great so long ago.
And now we're going to sing our kids to the classes. I just want you all to know that that story was brought to us by our own Jeanmarie. Thank you.
Lexi, take a mic.
As you've heard, the Time and Talent auction is coming up on April 25th. And over the next few weeks, you'll be hearing about the work of our service partners that we support at the auction. And I'm kicking it off with a few words about Chalice House. Many of you are familiar with, or maybe even actively involved with Chalice House, but as a reminder, Chalice House is a shared project with Countryside, Illinois Community for Displaced Immigrants, Our Savior's Lutheran Church, and about a dozen other local faith organizations and many individual supporters. Together, we provide temporary housing and hospitality to immigrants seeking legal protection and a new life in the United States to escape from serious threat in their home country. Over the past 6 years, Chalice House has been the home to individuals and families from the Democratic Republic of Congo, Guatemala, Colombia, Ukraine, and China. Recent changes under the current administration have no doubt made it more challenging for asylum seekers to find safety and build a new life in this country. But we are continuing to fulfill our mission of doing so thanks to your support and financial contributions. Your donations at Time and Talent Auction will help continue to support this critical work at a time when it is needed most. Additionally, at the auction, you can raise the paddle to contribute to the cost of a new roof at Chalice House. After many years of providing shelter to its residents, the building's roof has come to the end of its useful life. While we are fortunate to have many generous community partners who donate time and funds to our ongoing needs, as the property owner of the building, Countryside is responsible for the cost of home maintenance expenses like this. Our Raise the Paddle goal of $5,000 will cover about a third of the replacement cost, and work is expected to be done later this year. And during the auction, the silent auction, do not miss an item donated by Timothy and Melanie, our current residents. They are offering homemade dumplings, and those of you who attended our fall garden party can attest that they are indeed very delicious. So thank you all for your generous and ongoing support of Chalice House and its guests.
Our offering today is a Share the Plate with the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee. It's a sort of a generic title, but it's a really powerful organization, and I don't know that you know as much about it as you should. I became a member of the UUSC's Stewardship Circle a few years ago because I wanted to have a way to make more of a contribution to immigrants and the immigration issues around the world. Little did I know then how extreme it was going to become a problem in the U.S. I like the way the UUSC works. Instead of just giving money to emergencies like the Red Cross does, they have vetted and developed relationships with organizations in each of the countries where the immigration is an issue. And so when an emergency comes up, as with when the Ukraine war started, they already had relationships with organizations across the border in Poland who could then accept the refugees coming across from Ukraine without having to start from scratch to try to determine how to help them. I was able to meet some of the leaders of a very strong organization from Guatemala that works with young people to help change the culture of domestic abuse. Domestic abuse is one of the main drivers of immigration from Central American countries. And by trying to work with young people to change that culture and get them to realize that they don't have to continue the way the culture has been. So those are some of the kinds of issues. There was one success, several successes, but one recent one that was sort of unique was achieved by a group of college students from the South Sea Islands they went to all of the islands and got the leaders of each of the islands, including New Zealand, to sign on their petition that they submitted to the United Nations they were successful in getting an advisory opinion stating that the countries that are the biggest contributors to climate change owe and are obligated to help the countries that are most affected by it. Some of these South Sea Islands have been engulfed and the people have had to move to other islands already. And in other cases, they have some highlands so that people are able to move up. This is happening now. That's not something planned in the future. Unfortunately, the UN can't pass laws, but its advisory petition or its advisory opinion is the strongest commitment. And the UUSC helped this group of young people to proceed with this process and get that successful opinion. So half of our offering today will be donated to the UUSC. If you're interested, do take a minute to look at their website and get more of the information that you had up there about the strong value that they are committing to people. When our border was open, the UUSC had translators and legal advice to help the migrants at the border. So there are around the world a number of countries, so many of which, the migration is really an issue for an awful lot of countries, and we're on the border helping them. So please donate generously.
It is a way to participate in love and blessings. Generosity opens us up to more love. It is a way to commit ourselves to a beloved community where we can inspire, heal, and belong. Together, we will reap the blessings to come. The offering will now be gratefully received.
Sorry, one more announcement. I'm just here to give you an update on our pledge drive. You see the chart here. Rick told me that the charts are not exactly accurate. We have a little bit more than that, but by the data that I have as of last Friday, we have roughly about half of the pledge units in the church have contributed a total of $324,000, almost $325,000, and that's an increase, a net increase of about $8,000. The total from pledge units that have increased is about $26,000, but we've had people who have left the church and don't no longer contribute, or other members who, for whatever reason, have felt that they have to decrease their pledge, and that's gone down by $18,000. So right now we have about a net $8,000 increase. The other thing I'd like to do is just remind you that immediately after the service, we'll be giving another cottage meeting. If you haven't attended one, you'll get more information about the pledge drive. And as an added enticement, we'll have a second screening of the Stewardship Committee's stewardship movie, written, directed, and produced by our very own Rick Rayborn. And I've heard rumors that it's up for an Academy Award nomination in a new category called Short Stewardship Films, so don't miss it.
And you may join in the singing of this next song during the offertory. It's in your order of worship.
My name is Joy Simon, and I have been financially supporting the work of Countryside for 48 years. If you have been supporting the work of Countryside for 20 years or more, please raise your hands and keep them raised. Look around you. These people, along with many who have gone before us, represent the roots of Countryside. Please join us in supporting this community.
My name is Melanie Turbovic, and I have been financially supporting the work of Countryside for 14 years. If you have been supporting the work of Countryside for 6 to 19 years, please raise your hand. Look around you. These people represent the trunk of this tree. Please join us in supporting this community.
My name is Laura Dotto, and I'm a newbie here. Thank you for being here so people like me and my husband Bob can discover you. If you have been at Countryside for 5 years or fewer, please raise your hands. Look around. We represent the branches and leaves and acorns of this community. Maybe we can help you grow, because now is the time for us to be open. No better time, this moment of grace. This is the day we can't wait for tomorrow or someday. Now is the time. Now is the time for hearts to be open. No better time, this moment of grace.
I'm still Joy Simon, and my pronouns are she, her. I am a member of lay ministry, and I'm here today to share joys and concerns. We have two nonagenarians celebrating birthdays. Edie Scott, a choir member for many years, turned 94 last week. She would welcome cards, and you can get her address through Breeze. And next Saturday, our very own, who I call the angel of the church, Gloria Kinney, will amazingly turn 98. We will be celebrating it after the service next Sunday. Bring cards, if you will. Kristen Wonder shares that she got engaged. We send her our love and congratulations. And we cannot forget Gabriel Gonzalez, a young boy who had very serious surgery recently. He is recovering at home, and our hearts are with he and his family. For these and all the joys and concerns that you hold in your heart, know that we care. Please join in singing Spirit of Life.
As we prepare to move into the spiritual journeys portion of our service, we share these words from Andre Moll, written in honor of two Unitarians, Martha and Waitstill Sharp, who during World War II dared to risk their own comfort to help save the lives of those in need. He writes, "As we gather together, may we remember, when you share with me what is most important to you, that is where listening begins. When I show you that I hear you, when I say your life matters, that is where compassion begins. When I open the door to greet you, that is where hospitality begins. When I venture out to bring you shelter, that is where love begins. When I risk my comfort to ease your suffering, when I act against hatred, violence, and injustice, that is where courage begins. When we experience the full presence of each other because of our shared humanity, because of our differences, that is where holy gratitude begins. May this space be a table that is not complete until all are welcome. May this table be a space of beauty where together we create a series of miracles and where all that we share is sacred."
The first reading is a poem, "You Are Welcome," by Schuler Brown. Welcome. You've arrived. However you got here, however long or bumpy or twisted the road, however beautiful or bleak the scenery, you made it. I'm so happy you're here. We're so happy you're home. Within yourself, within this body, your own house made of elements and ancestors, stories and desires, a simple temple built on the good green earth. Now you can know yourself, your full worth. Like this, we gather together into this heart space, the inner chamber, such a holy place. Let's arrive one by one and all at once. Enjoy the company, share what's on our hearts, see each other fully through eyes of kindness, feel each other's presence. Every one of us is a facet of the same gem. All are welcome in the heart, under the sun or in the rain. Whatever you call it, pleasure or pain, it's all the same. Can you hear the call? A conch shell, a singing bowl, a chorus of voices, one note. What a miracle. Life is a song. The invitation is to relax, expand, to be without judgment, to be in radical innocence, to trust spontaneous movement, to follow the thread, to dissolve a little or a lot, to allow yourself to fly when the wings come out, to release your hold on karma and conditioning, to begin the process of deep listening, to review what you cling to, reflect on your life. You don't have to understand it to respect it. Go deeper. What else is there? We're generating a miracle field. Let it begin. My friend, please come in. Thank you. You are welcome. Thus ends the first reading.
Good morning. My name is Jeanmarie, and I have a story to tell. This is a true story. I'm not making it up. It actually happened to me. It all began, in the beginning, I was in a Catholic school, and my sister and I were also my sister also was in the Catholic school. One day, one of the nuns, for some reason or another, slapped me in the back, and I couldn't believe it. She mentioned the fact about stand up straight or something like that. So I turned around and I slapped her back. However, there was shall we say, a reason that happened to me afterwards. Anyway, I was sent to not just the principal's office, but to the priest's home. And my sister, who was younger, was also sent. They called up my mother and father, my stepfather, to come and pick me up and take us away, both of us away. My stepfather came rushing in, and he was very mad that my sister and I were being thrown out. He was so mad that all the paintings that he had contributed to the church, he was starting to take down. He wanted to take them home. And we left that particular school. I sat in the back seat with my sister, and I was worried, and I thought, I think I went over bounds with slapping the sister. However, my stepfather, I was sent to my room, Joanne was sent to her room, and I was waiting for something because I knew that I would be punished for it. The knock on the door was my stepfather. Now, my stepfather always tried to smoke a pipe. He never could quite get it, but he was always trying. So he said to me, "See here, Jeanmarie, you can't go around punching people in the mouth." Then he looked at me, gave me a wink, turned around and said, "Okay, Mary, I talked to her." Two weeks later, I was sent to a school, and it was quite revealing for me. For one thing, this school not only had girls, but it had boys. And so I checked out the boys to make sure that I could handle them, and I said, yes, I could. But it was the girls that I really liked. They wore those skirts that had dogs and and I wanted one, but my mother wouldn't give me one, but I wanted one. I thought, oh, okay. And I met this woman, this girl was there, and she said that her mother was a born again. And I didn't quite understand what that was, and I dared not ask. So what I'm saying is that there was a variety of people from different, and I could sense that. And I thought that was wonderful. When I went into the 8th grade, however, I was told to go down to the principal's office. I could not understand why I had to go down to the principal's office. I was good, I liked my friends, and I worked real hard. But I went down there, knocked on the door, and the principal said, this was when I was in the 9th grade, and he said, here, there's the children in the 9th grade, this is their last year with us, so they always do a play. And we would like to know if you would play the lead in this play. I was flabbergasted. I had no idea this was coming. And I said, why, sure, yes, I can be anything. So I went home, told my mother and stepfather, and they came to see me in this play. We moved into Chicago, where I went to Tooley High School. And I met a girl, and she was wonderful. She was, this is where I'm going to need your help, and that is, she was a foreigner. She was, they moved her whole, the whole, pardon me? I'm sorry. Okay, well, anyway, she became a good friend of mine. But, oh, I know, but she was a Native American. That's right. Sorry about screwing up. And I really liked her. She told me stories about her great-great-great-great-great-grandmother was part of the people that went, because they were being moved away. And I couldn't believe it, that people were being treated this way. And so I really respected her family and her. And I had no idea that this went on. Well, time went by, as time has a tendency to do, and I was in some various women's rights movements and stuff when I met a woman. And this woman said, you know, you would do okay in this church. I really think you should come and see it. And I said, no. And she said, I'll drive you there. I think you would fit in with this. I said, no. Well, this woman was named Nancy. She was a member here of Countryside Church. And she really loved it here and told me about all the good stuff. Finally, I said, okay, you can pick me up, I'll go with you to this church, thinking that I'll say no to it. So I came to this church, and I met you. I met a lot of you. And I thought, okay, well, it was all right. And then I listened to the sermon. There was a sermon. And the sermon was not about hell and damnation and you're going to hell or anything like that. It was a story. And it was a true story about a poet who faced a lot of bad things and made it through. And I remember being so touched by this talk. It wasn't Bible work or just repeating. It was a true story about a true person. And I thought, this place is kind of nice. It tells the truth. So I watched you and I kind of listened to you, and my mind was all kind of in a flutter. I went home and I thought about her. I thought about the woman, Nancy, who took me there. And I thought about her and her beliefs. So I decided that I would come back the next Sunday. I would drive and come back. And that's when I listened and I watched you. And it was that time when the ones who are instruments and sing, and I heard them sing for the first time. And I was moved. I was moved my whole heart. Because when you sing beautifully, and you sing with meaning. I can tell that. And somehow, your feelings in what you sing come to me, and I take that. And I thank you for doing that. And I met more and more people. After the service, people would come and sit and eat. Oh, great, I'm ready for that all the time. And I got to listen to you and the way that you talked. This was so different. This wasn't just memorizing stuff and talking about sin or something like that. You people were just full of energy. And some of you remembered my name from before and some didn't, but that's okay. I remember when the first time I was here, 4 people told me where the bathroom was. So I got that one down pat. And the second time I came, I looked at you and I listened to you. And you don't realize this, but you are special to be here. And I realized that you worked really hard. I decided that I would stay here at Countryside, but I had a request to make. And I didn't think it would be done, but I went and I said, I would like to have a dance form here. People who are interested in dance, I would like to be with them and create it. And I talked to someone about it, and he said, okay, where do you want it? Well, I want it here, And he gave me the room that I can go to. And actually, I had some students, not students, but people that did come. And it was a sacred dance thing, and we had fun. I can't think of any other place, any other church, that would say yes to that. And it was wonderful. And we met for about a year, and then we broke up. This was the place that I met my second husband. Not looking for one, just trying to do my thing. So that was a special thing. I don't think you realize how special you are. You took someone who went to Catholic school and had to obey all the orders. And therefore, because of that, I never went to a religion until I came here. Because this is not a religion. This is a heart. This is a study. This is a love. And you may not agree with me, and I don't see why not, but you do not realize how special you are. Like now I can't drive, and I have to, when I have to go anywhere, I have to ask for rides. And you come and you ask me, you want a ride? You need a ride? And you give me a ride here. I don't have to worry. I can be here. And you check up on me. You prove your love. You show your love. It isn't just speaking or memorizing. It's what you do. And you do a lot. All of you. You do a lot for this church. Because I believe you love this church. And I have never, ever experienced that before. I've been to other churches for saying no to. But in this one, I want to stay. And I thank you for driving me here, for driving me back. And I thank you for understanding me and saying welcome. You are special people. And you may not always make the goal that you want to make. But the point is, you give it your heart, and you try.
The second reading is a poem, Clearing, by Martha Postlethwaite. Do not try to save the whole world or do anything grandiose. Instead, create a clearing in the dense forest of your life and wait there patiently until the song that is your life falls into your own cupped hands and you recognize it and greet it. Only then will you know how to give yourself to this world so worthy of rescue. Thus ends the reading.
Oh my goodness, how do I follow Jeanmarie? Oh. Anyway, good morning. My name is Michael Lunter. My pronouns are he, him. I didn't arrive at Unitarian Universalism in a blaze of certainty. I arrived more like someone who had been walking for a long time and finally noticed I was tired of carrying answers that quite didn't fit anymore. My spiritual life had always mattered to me, but for many years I felt like something I was supposed to have figured out. What to believe, what to say, how to explain the mystery of being alive in neat sentences. And the older I got, the more those neat sentences began to feel less true. What did feel true were moments, small ones. A shared laugh, a story that softened my heart. Watching someone show quiet kindness when no one else was watching. After my first partner died in the early years of the AIDS crisis, I found myself on the front lines of a suffering that few people knew how to face. There was fear everywhere, and a grief that arrived faster than anyone could absorb. I joined ACT UP, helped develop a food organization for people living with AIDS, worked hotlines and facilitated support groups, both for those who were infected and for those who were learning how to live with devastating loss. Those rooms taught me more about faith than any set of doctrines ever could. People didn't come with tidy beliefs. They came with fear, courage, love, anger, and exhaustion. What mattered most wasn't having the right answers. It was presence, showing up, bearing witness, refusing to let people disappear. Somewhere along the way, I realized that my spiritual questions hadn't gone away, but they had changed. I wasn't asking, what am I supposed to believe? So much as, how do I want to live? How do I stay tender in an increasingly growing hard world? How do I keep choosing love over fear? When I first encountered Unitarian Universalism, what surprised me the most was permission. Permission to question. Permission to change my mind. Permission to bring my whole imperfect self into the room. I didn't have to check my doubts at the door. In fact, they were welcome. UU felt less like being handed a map and more like being invited on a shared journey. One where we walk together, tell stories, sing songs, laugh when appropriate, and admit when we don't know the answers. That mattered to me, and it still does. I've always believed in the power of stories, music, and art to move people towards compassion. I think that's part of why I feel at home here. UU faith isn't about having the loudest voice or the cleanest theology. It's about listening deeply and acting with care. It's about justice rooted in love, and love that doesn't turn away from complexity. At this stage of my life, my faith looks less like certainty and more like commitment. A commitment to kindness, a commitment to showing up, a commitment to keeping my heart open, even when it would be easier to close it. Unitarian Universalism doesn't ask me to be finished. It invites me to keep becoming. And for me, that feels like a spiritual home worth choosing again and again.
You know, what Mike didn't tell you actually was that I brought him to his first UU church, and you should have seen the look on his face when I asked him, hey, you want to come to church with me? Now he's one of us. You're welcome. As for me, spiritually, I've been confused my whole life. I, the sole child of a Jewish father and a Unitarian mother with Jewish heritage, was living in Oklahoma City. Great place to not be Christian. Where I spent my Sunday mornings attending religious education at Temple B'nai Israel on Pennsylvania Avenue, feeling different from every person in that room. Nothing that they were talking about was going on in my home, beyond lighting a menorah under parental supervision, including the year that I accidentally set the couch on fire, and giving my father plenty of leeway to be as grouchy as he wanted to be during Yom Kippur. That was the only holiday that he ever celebrated, by the way. Yeah, there wasn't really anything about my home that I or anyone else would have particularly called Jewish. We ate pork and loved it. You know, and given the matrilineal line of Jewish heritage, my mother's almost deliberate absence from synagogue scored no points with anybody. To say nothing of the shaming that she got for it as well. And the cantor proved to be no ally when I was teased about it, thus prompting my immediate withdrawal from Hebrew school about 2 years before I was slated to be called to the Torah for a bar mitzvah. I wish you'd been around to knock that guy out. So there we were. We huddled for safety at Oklahoma City's sole Unitarian church for a while, but by that time I'd pretty much given up on any relationship with, God, a religious community, or even any sense of curiosity. By 13 years old, when we moved back to New York, God was in his heaven doing his thing, I was on earth doing mine, and ne'er the twain would meet. 10 years later, after a losing battle with alcoholism and drug addiction, I was brought to an AA meeting where I was told that spiritual solutions would solve my problem. So, being completely out of ideas about how to put out the dumpster fire my life had become by that time, I agreed to try using AA's 12 steps to grow spiritually, one of which recommended me improving my conscious contact with a higher power of my own understanding. By that time in my life, the letters GOD stood for Group of Drunks. And laugh, but it was practical because all of them plus me was more powerful than me alone trying to figure out how I was going to do my life sober. And I was willing to let them care. So it was really in community that I began to get in touch with whatever it was in my own being that had kept me alive despite my best efforts to drown it with alcohol. But even then, I'd been told I would need to improve upon that one day at a time, as both the quality of my sobriety and my happiness depended upon doing so. And I tried. I really did. I had journals filled with letters to a God I was trying to get to know better, but there was never a written reply. I tried prayer and reflection, but there was just silence. I even tried practical imagination. I used to picture the luckless guardian angel that had been assigned to my case, carrying me through moments of distress, like that poem about the footprints in the sand. But I somehow suspected that at one point he would just throw his hands up and walk away in frustration. And I had my little rituals too. I had this beat-up saucepan where I used to drop scraps of paper where I listed the people, places, and things I was trying to surrender to this higher power. And I'd slam the lid shut so that there would be both a physical action and a sound, bang, to mark that I had done something. But it all just felt very one-sided. Answers seldom arrived on my schedule. And more often than not, it had to be pointed out to people in my support group that when I turned things over to God, I didn't get a say in how he dealt with them. Once more, I was confused, but what could I do? Supposedly, these were the terms and conditions of the relationship, and little else mattered, so no further questions, if you please. In 2012, I came back to the Unitarian Universalist Church of my own free will when I moved to a state with blue grass and very, very red politics. The year before, when life was once again handing me a series of lumps I couldn't digest, let alone swallow, I had attended one in Denver as a way to form a closer bond with my aunt and uncle who lived there and were very active in the community. And while I found myself active there also as a member of the choir, my choice to be there was more about needing my family more than my own spiritual well-being. But in Kentucky, I was literally on my own and eager to find someplace where my Jewish Yankee queer boy butt might be safe. And perhaps it was because I was on my own this time and I didn't have either family to lean on or a list of 12 actions posted on a wall somewhere that I began to awaken to a simple idea that community of about 50 people shared and believed strongly in, that the search was the answer. That all those letters to God were in fact proof that there was one. That over the years, becoming less certain about myself and the direction of my life and more open to the possibilities I would have otherwise disregarded was itself evidence that there was room in my heart for answers to come. That what I've been looking for was not outside of myself, somewhere up in the clouds, but behind my sternum, where I really live. And that I'm one of a jillion particles spat out from the remnants of the Big Bang that now gets to experience the great totality of all things by being one of them. It's because of being introduced to that possibility that my journey became experiential rather than relational, and that spiritual matters and questions took on a greater depth and weight. These days it's not so much about acquiring gems of knowledge and insight or about looking for burning bushes. It's more like acknowledging and honoring the landmarks and milestones along the way. It's not so much about salvation as it is about appreciation. It's not so much what I believe, but whether or not I'm living on what I believe, especially when what I believe changes as I get older. Unitarian Universalism's principles and communities have over time proven themselves to me to be the place where I can not only do all of that without dogmatic, historical, or familial guidelines directing or interpreting my discoveries for me, but also it's proven to be a place where I can rest comfortably in the thought that it's okay if I don't know what I'm dealing with when it comes to God. That spiritual confusion can also be indicative of an open mind and an adventurous spirit, and that achieving a destination is nice, but having a journey comes with its own special rewards. Thank you.
As we extinguish the chalice, we share these words. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of its truth, the warmth of this community, nor the fire of our commitment. These we carry in our hearts and share with all the world. Please stand as you are able and join in closing hymn number 1028. Many thanks to Jeanmarie, Michael, and Adam for trusting us with their stories this morning. We conclude the service. We conclude the service with these words from Cynthia Landrum. We leave this gathered community, but we don't leave our connection, our concerns, our care for each other. Our service to each other, to the world, and to our faith continues. Until we are together again, friends, be strong, be well, be true, be loving.